What's up, Taurus Collective? Thank you for joining me for your energy reading. My name is Keita. If you are a first time viewer, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. I am going to be curating, as I have been divinely led, an energetic message for you guys. And there's quite a bit of meat here. If you are used to watching my videos, you know I often talk about, or know me, I often talk about taking away the meat and leaving the bones, right? Well, we got a lot of meat, so I might be a minute, but this reading was on my list of to-dos for today, and I have a shit ton of things I need to get to, but it's a priority that I get these messages out. So I've made this Taurus reading a priority, and it's actually the thing that I am doing other than, you know, my moment of devotion and getting dressed and all this. First thing that I'm knocking off my list of to-dos this morning before I move on with my day. And so I hope that this message finds you well. I hope that whatever is said, you make a priority, because nothing we say or do or nobody we meet is happenstance or, what do they call it? A coincidence. It's not a coinky dink that we are here together at this time, and I am saying the things that I am saying because I am a channeler. And oftentimes, even when I'm not reading cards and not intentionally reading somebody, I am channeling messages. So what's coming to me is there is something to be said or gained from prioritizing, assessing your priorities. What do you prioritize? We're gonna get into the message. I actually want to start out with a message that's been coming to me by way of bibliomancy. I've been reading this book called I'm the book hoppingest book hopper that has ever book hopped. Do you hear me? So I'm actually reading maybe 4 books right now. This book, the Manifestation Conversations with Archangel Michael by Michael L. Noor, which is this book here. So I've been reading it on and off for quite some time, but I'm actively reading it now. I'm reading The Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. I'm reading The Invitation by Araya Mountain Dreamer. And I'm also reading this is another book that I'm into right now that's not coming to mind, but I've been in and out of those 4 books for a little while now. That's just my style. If you go back and watch the Aries reading, I talk about how we'll start some shit and don't finish it and come back to the thing once we've gotten bored with the thing we moved on to. And yeah, I'm not like that with people. Excuse me. I'm not like that with people, and I'm not like that with things that I'm really like have a time frame for it coming to fruition. Like, the shit gonna get done, but throughout the process I'm probably gonna hop around from task to task in order to get it done, right? So what I've been constantly coming to by way of bibliomancy is pages 110 and 111. I mean, I don't have the page folded or nothing. I just always end up intuitively going to that page because it is speaking to where many of us are on the journey. And prior to starting the reading, I was intuitively told, hey, this is where the Taurus Collective is, and you're needing to share this with the Taurus Collective in the Taurus Collective energy reading. So here we go. In obedience to the great I am, my inner voice and my inner knowing, I'm going to share this with you all, and then it's going to help us move forward with the message that wants to come forward, because from there I'm going to share with you the message from the I can never remember the name of this deck, Star Codes Astro Oracle, about what it is to be a Taurus sun sign or have Taurus in your chart, because on this journey, ultimately our whole intention and purpose for being here, our life purpose, is to love, to be an expression of love, to create things and relationships and connections and dynamics and books and art and songs and albums and poems and businesses and products that are the product of love. We are to be love. We are to express love, because that is not only Christhood but Godhood. And so this book here, it talks about an individual who reincarnates as Archangel Michael on Earth, and his experience and the downloads and channelings that came from that experience. And so on the equinox, March 20th of 1997, which is the day before my birthday. Which one of my birthdays was that one? I was 7 in 91. So that would have made me 11? 13. Yeah, I was 13 when this particular portion of what he's talking about took place. It was the day before my 13th birthday. My equinox, March 20th, 1997. The energies of the planet, as well as the energies of the Sanat Kumara. Sanat Kumara is an ascended master who is a part of the Great White Brotherhood, which is this this group of energies that work together to help move forward the progression of humanity. A very metaphysical existence. And Sanat Kumara particularly helps individuals arrive to their godhood, their God self, their higher self, so that they may live out their higher purpose and align with their sacred contract. So it says, the energies of the planet, as well as the energy of the Sanat Kumara, Lord of the planet, have been deeply renewed during the past several weeks. Literally surrounded and supported by the lords of the neighboring planets, the Sanat Kumara, in a state of intense meditation, semi-cataleptic, was immersed in a tremendous vortex of energy for several weeks. We know that for the full moon of January, the planets were positioned to form a perfect Star of David as seen on a two-dimensional picture. During this ceremony, the Sanat Kumara, look him up because I've been studying him as well, and there's lots of good information out there about Sanat Kumara and his role or position with helping planet Earth evolve. During this ceremony, the Sanat Kumara was cleared from the remaining frequencies of the Pisces and prepared for the Aquarius area. So we're talking about how we're being prepared to release karma, toxicity, low vibes, and experiences that have affected us in the age of the age of Pisces, which we're talking about thousands of years. So not just this lifetime, but other lifetimes, so that you are prepared to thrive and produce in the Aquarius era, in the age of Aquarius. So shit is like far bigger. I'm trying to help the collective see the bigger picture. Shit is far bigger than the things that weigh on us from day to day or from moment to moment. We are being protected to usher in and to be a leader in a totally new era in time. So it says, since then, he has been gathering all his strength, supported by the blessings and vibrational impact of his heavenly companions, those ancestors, those spirit guides, those light beings, those who are our team of light helping us on the other side. It says throughout the day of the equinox, several geometrical patterns were imprinted and anchored on the etherical body of the planet throughout the channels of the planetary hierarchy and the White Lodge. That's the that Great White Brotherhood, and like some of you may have heard of the White Lodge if you're familiar with like Masonic, if you have Masons in your family or your ancestral line, or if you are a Mason yourself, then you're familiar with the concept of the White Lodge, but again, a metaphysical group or sorority, fraternity type deal. I know I have a long line of Masons in my family. My great grandmother, my great grandfather, some of my uncles were Masons, and I actually, prior to a lot of this knowledge, had a man one day. It was like amidst my spiritual awakening. He was like, "Sister," and I thought he was talking to somebody else, but he was standing by me, right? And he said it again, and I turned around and I was like, "Hey, how are you?" And he was like, "You know, a sister?" And I said, "I don't think so." I said, "I don't think you and I have met, but I don't think I'm who you think I am," type shit. And he was like, "Oh, I thought you were one of my Eastern Star sisters. You look just like one of my Eastern Star sisters." And not long after that, I found out that my great grandmother was an Eastern Star. And that I had a long line of Masons in my ancestral line, which explained a lot of what I was experiencing in my awakening, because I was questioning, like, where did this shit come from? Like, my interest in occult nature and metaphysics and spirituality, opposed to, say, religion, and my spiritual gifts. Like, who in my line, my ancestral line, had them? Because I was raised with my great grandmother. I lived with her for like 5 or 6 years of my youth, and baby, she was a devout churchgoer at one point, like led the choir, whole 9 yards, Bible study, studying her Bible at the house. She had a little steno pad. Like, even as I'm saying that, her handwriting is coming to mind. I'm seeing her handwriting visibly. So, a lot of that was a mystery to me until I started paying attention to the signs of synchronicities and the occurrences that were occurring in my physical reality, and I was able to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And I feel like that is a lot of where the Taurus collective is. You guys are finding the missing pieces to the puzzle and making sense of your journey up to this point. And now you're being called to prioritize things differently, because you didn't know what you didn't know, what you didn't know. But now that you know the things, you have to govern yourself accordingly, right? You're no longer ignorant. And so you can no longer blame or walk in ignorance. You have to walk in your gnosis, which is your knowing. I was watching this video. I need to share it with y'all. This guy was talking about, I promise we're going to get to the reading. As far as I'm concerned, this is the reading. And who going to check me, boo? Okay? But this guy was talking about the concept of gnosis, Gnosis. And gnosis is not just knowing things, having knowledge, reading a book and regurgitating some shit, right? Gnosis is like having that knowing because you have experienced it in some way or another. And that is exactly what our relationship with God should be. Our relationship with God should not be based on something we read and something that somebody told us, and then we're able to internalize it and regurgitate it. But no, we are to experience God, and we are to experience God by becoming God, and that is tapping into our Godhood, our God self. And from that space, we are able to teach, lead, and help other people to arrive to that space in their lives as well, should they be open to it. We don't force nothing on nobody, right? But it says one of those patterns that was imprinted on the planet at this particular time on March 20th during the spring equinox was a 6-point star. And this symbol can be extended as a 3 or 4 dimensional figure. I saw a 6-point star on somebody yesterday. It was a celebrity that has a dope 6-point star tattoo on their neck, and it's somebody that I read somewhere at some point was gang affiliated. So when I saw it, it made me think of being gang affiliated. But I know that one of those gangs, the star is that they're associated with is the 5-point star. I think it's Gangster Disciples. But all this shit be tied in. But it made me wonder, is there one where the 6-point star is significant? But it says this symbol can be extended as a 3 or 4 dimensional figure. It is the pattern of the merging of matter and spirit, the at-one-ment of the earth with the spiritual planes. This pattern was broadcast all day and will stay focused towards earth as long as mankind needs this frequency. However, in order to help the planet and children to raise its vibration, the hierarchy projected and imprinted, encoded our atmosphere and the members of the lodge with the holograms of. And so there are some symbols that have been projected upon planet Earth, and these symbols, this sacred geometry, comes with particular energy, right? And so that is why those of us who vibrate high enough and align with those energies are receiving these light codes, this elevation, this ascension, because we have help that's galactic. We have help that is cosmic. We have help that transcends time and space, that is helping us as individuals to become who we need to be so that we can help the collective evolve and become what it is meant to be. So you have the triangle here, then a spiral in the morning. In the afternoon, the DNA was affected, and around 4:30 p.m., a cubic prism was set to focus the energy through it. So here's the page here. If you want to take a screenshot, you're able to read that on your own. And then there are the symbols that may be significant to you guys as signs, synchronicities along your journey. But it says, then the Pleiades, which is, the Pleiades are a star, a galactic group or star family. The Pleiades and the Kumaras place themselves in 2 semicircles facing each other. So this is something that this person experienced while in a trance or meditative state on March 20th, 1997. Facing each other, the sun being north, the cosmic dance involving the Pleiades and the Kumaras implied a merging of the male and female energies. For many of you, what you are experiencing is that merging, that sacred marriage, that Hyros Gamos that we've been talking about here on the channel, of the masculine and feminine energy. And as you are doing that merging of masculine and feminine energy internally, and not just masculine and feminine energy, but divine masculine, feminine, and divine masculine and divine feminine energy is integrating. You are also experiencing coming into contact with and aligning with, coming into union with your divine masculine or divine feminine counterpart. As within, so without. As above, so below. Things are working for our good out in the cosmos, and here on earth they are mirroring that progression. And so it says, following up of the major ceremony which took place in June 1996 for 1997, the scheme of the cosmic hierarchy aims to assimilate the already merged vibration to the solar frequency or divine monadic one. So it says, one can see clearly a new picture appearing in the cosmos, the Egyptian eye. This symbol represents the integration of the spiritual sun in the bosom of the combined male positive and female negative vibrations. This way, the complete androgynous frequency is generated, then following each other, the frequencies of the serpent. So if you're experiencing that kundalini rising, that is because the frequencies of the serpent is high. That's you tapping into your dormant creative energy, awakening to your divine sexuality and sensuality, which is the same as your creative energy. Because your creative output and expression is meant to help the collective evolve. And so if you've had for age for lifetimes this energy sitting dormant at the base of your spine, you're now experiencing it come up and rise up to your crown chakra and beyond. The Christ sacrifice merging into matter, the Christ glorified returning to spirit with awareness. Many of you are coming into deeper awareness of your Christhood and your Godhood. So here's the image here of the Sun, Pleiades, and the Kumaras meeting, and how it creates that image that is looks like the Egyptian eye. If you're not familiar with the Egyptian eye, the eye of protection is the eye of Ra and the eye of Horus. The eye of Ra being that of like divine masculinity and creative energy. The eye of Horus being that of like intuitive protection. So it's kind of like yin and yang with the masculine and feminine energy, and the coming together and balancing of that is sacred marriage. It's all representative of the same things. Yin and yang is more of a concept derived from Asian culture, whereas the eye of Ra is derived from Egyptian or Kemetic culture. And so that is something that is pertinent to the Taurus journey, and where you are as you are releasing relationships, patterns, behaviors, things lying within your DNA, that which kept your creative energy blocked. It's like if you are creative, well, we all are creative, but if you are in touch with your creative energy in some way, but you've been feeling stuck, stagnant, you've reached a ceiling, you felt capped or stifled in some way, the divine and your team of light is busting it wide open. Busting it wide open so that you can tap into more of your creative energy. It's gonna knock your socks off, and also so that you can align with those that you are meant to be creative and live out divine mission with. So I am going to share with you guys as one who has a creative mission, one who has a divine mission, one who is dedicated to operating, embodying, living out their Godhood, making decisions and connecting with people from their God self. What your Taurus nature is, your Taurian nature is, because in order to be true to yourself, you got to know yourself. In order, there's this saying, my motto, to thine own self be true. In order to be true to yourself, you have to have knowledge of self, and not just your lower self, but also and ultimately your higher self, and how your shadow and your light works together for your good, and not just your good, but for the collective good. That is oneness. When we be thinking shit is just isolated and separated and distinctly different, the journey comes to show us where all this shit is the same and connected in some way, and that is the flower of life, which is also sacred geometry, which is this pattern here that I have tattooed on me, as well as to thine own self be true, because I live by this shit. And a lot of my lessons in life come to remind me where I am not being true to myself, or what it looks like to be true to myself. But it says Taurus cultivates, and it's the number 2 card in my nails dirty in this deck, and I just saw 2111, which may be significant to you guys as you are mastering how to show up in your relationships with self, God, and others on your journey. But it says Taurus asks you to hold still, dig in, grow roots, and strengthen over time. Manifest in a practical way, signified by a bull standing in its field. Taurus rules the neck and voice. So for those of you who use your voice as creative expression. That is part of your Taurian nature, because Taurus rules the throat, the neck, the voice, the throat chakra. Um, its purpose is to bring life into matter through growing wildflowers and crops, through our muscular strength and the sensual potential of our bodies, and through the solidness of our material resources. Baby, one thing about a Taurus, they gonna focus on some earthly shit. Taurus is an earth sign, so they gonna focus on their money, that home, comfort, sexual pleasure. They're going to place priority on those things. It says the sun shines here April 21st through May 20th. The action for Taurus energy is to work with the metaphor of gardening. So if you are a Taurus and you have special interest in gardening or plants, herbalism, things of that nature, that comes natural to you as a Taurus. It says plow the ground, plant the seeds, nurture the crops with water and fertilizer, and protect those crops from predation. You're not only to use this knowledge in accordance to how you connect with plants, but also how you cultivate other things in your life, your relationships, your business, your creative endeavors. You're needing to plant the seeds and plow the ground, plant the seeds, nurture the crops, and water and fertilize it, and protect it as it grows from those predators who seek to prey on it, to feed off of it. It says grow roots rather than travel. So there's a emphasis on stability, being grounded, being rooted somewhere instead of being all over the place for Taurus energy. Investigate what concrete form your project should take and the next practical steps in that direction. So this could be speaking to a project, this could be speaking to a relationship, but whatever it is, you need it to be practical and take those small steps toward achieving the end goal. Appreciate the senses. So Taurus is to be a very tantric energy, appreciating the senses, tapping into the smell and the touch and the feel, and things of that nature, exploring all of the senses in order to have a pleasurable experience. Notice what you see, smell, hear, feel, and taste. Use the senses to be in the present moment and let time flow by. Cuddle. So for many of you as a Taurus, in some way in your chart, you may very much value cuddling and spooning and being close and intimate. Feed. In a relationship, listen to both the signals of body chemistry and the practicalities of your life to give it a fertile field. Cultivate your garden like a slowly growing flower basking in the sun. Find contentment in this moment. Explore the roots of the situation. Ask what feeds this idea or what feeds your soul. If you're feeling pushed about it, or if you're feeling pushed about, sit, hold still, grow roots, and let the storm pass over you. It is important that as Tauruses, you stay in the eye of the storm. That is where you are most safe when there is a storm taking place going on around you. Your safe space is to be centered, not out in the midst of the shit trying to save everybody. Put your gas mask on and save yourself in the eye of the storm until things begin to calm down. It says don't hurry. Play the long game as you plant and tend your crops. So where you may have been impatient in some way or rushing into things, take your time, be intentional, pay attention to detail, be present, show up, but show up not in a hurry to get to the end goal. Just take things day by day from moment to moment and be present and enjoy yourself and put that work toward your end goal. The challenge of Taurus energy is that Taurus excess can lead you to mistake stubbornness for strength, thinking you standing strong, you standing firm on something the whole time you being stubborn and bullheaded, or look for spiritual and emotional answers in the material world. So sometimes Tauruses have a tendency to look for the answers externally when the answer is internal, especially when it comes to a spiritual or emotional matter. There will never be enough stuff to fill an emotional void. When I tell you, I know this all too well about the Taurian nature. Amassing things, hoarding things, buying things in order to try to fill an emotional void. It'll never work. That void will always be there. That emptiness will always be there, and no material thing is going to fulfill it. Sensuality is a Taurus gift, but sex alone will not fulfill a desire for love. Clarify your hunger. The gift for the Taurian collective is that everything that surrounds you is made up of matter. We just got through talking about the marriage of matter and a spirit in that Archangel Michael book. Everything that surrounds you is made up of matter, and the word matter comes from the Latin word mater, or mother. Taurus connects you to the sacred earth mother Gaia herself, the physical vessel who holds spirit in the body, in the plants, and in the earth beneath us. So for many of you, whether masculine or feminine, it's important that you tap in with the divine mother archetype, that you are nurturing yourself and those things that you value, those things that you desire to see come to fruition in your life, that you are reparenting yourself through that mother archetype and taking care of yourself in that way. One way to connect with divine mother energy is through a spiritual bath, by allowing yourself to take a spiritual bath with whatever herbs or essential oils that you feel led to, and then lying in the fetal position in that bath, because that mimics the the symbiotic, I think it is, fluids of being safe and secure and nurtured in the mother's womb. And that's a great way for you to go inward and seek answers, the answers that you seek, opposed to external advice or seeking some form of external validation or answers. That's one of the ways that you can meditate. I started taking spiritual baths as a way to evolve my meditative practice, but it's also purifying and healing. Put you some kind of salt in that water, but let your intuition lead you on what ingredients to include. It don't gotta be a lot. It ain't gotta be fancy. It don't gotta look cute. You just get you a can of coconut milk and some pink Himalayan salt, or just do it how you feel led to do it, and that's a great way to mother yourself. I am going to be pulling from, I want to pull from the power of love and the Alice in Wonderland deck. Because for many of you, as you are having these experiences, as you are moving out of those Pisces, the age of Pisces influences, and into the age of Aquarius, and evolving to become more of your, and getting to know who you naturally are, like your factory resetting, and becoming more of an individual within the collective. It may feel like you're going down this rabbit hole, like you're Alice in Wonderland and everything is turned upside down and exaggerated, and you know what I'm saying? And so that is why I felt led to pull from the Alice in Wonderland deck. As a matter of fact, no, stick with the initial plan of going with the power of love at first. So Spirit, what message do you have for me to bring forth for the Taurus collective? Unity. Did we not talk about that sacred marriage, that Hyros Gamos, that coming together, that unifying and integrating your masculine and your feminine energy, your opposite parts that make up you, your shadows and your light? There is unity taking place internally and externally. As within, so without. As above, so below. They're uniting in the cosmos, out there in the galaxies, to help you to unite here on earth. So it says, you understand that the love shared with another is amplified and has a ripple effect across the universe. And what is coming to me is that in order for many of you, Taurus, to come into unity with your divine partner, with your soul family, with those who are meant to support and challenge you, because that's a thing to along your journey of godhood, you're having to release those who no longer serve you. You're having to release some ideas, some patterns, some things that no longer serve you, some habits that no longer serve you, because you are coming into unity with what does serve you, what does help you to elevate and grow. And sometimes it's going to challenge you, but it's going to be such a healthy challenge. I actually saw a video on Instagram this morning. This guy was talking about how when he first met his wife and she was delivered to him, he said he wanted to put return to sender and send her ass back. He said because the way she was challenging him, it was like moving him out of his comfort zone and challenging the ways that he had grown accustomed to showing up in the world and in relationships. You know what I'm saying? He said, but the more he started to realize that she was about unity and she was trying to do or was doing and promoting what was good and healthy for the relationship, and she was thinking on some we shit, he was thinking on some me shit, because that's what he was used to doing. And so it very much spoke to this concept of unity and some of the nuances that come along with unifying. So I'm gonna post that link on the community board when I finish recording this video, and upload it, so that if this resonates with you, you can check that out as well, because it was dope. I loved his perspective on his experience with his wife. And what also was coming to me, and I said I was gonna comment underneath the picture of the video on Instagram, is that God sent him a midwife, somebody to help him to tap into his feminine energy and give birth to a new version, a higher version, more aligned and aware, conscious version of himself. And because he kept saying his wife put that pressure on, yeah, she helped him birth this version of himself as a midwife. God not only sent him a wife, but a midwife. Because birthing happens in different ways. It's just not about bringing a child into this world. Women, we birth ideas, we birth businesses, we birth organizations, we birth healthier emotional states. I can't wait to talk to y'all about this class I took last night that helped me understand the concept of emotional responsibility. I've been big on emotional intelligence and emotional maturity, but the concept of emotional responsibility I had not explored until last night, and I can't wait to share that with y'all as a result of this somatic healing dance class that I took last night. But yeah, y'all coming into unity within yourself, and for many of you with someone, a counterpart outside of you, who mirrors to you, or who is your match, so to speak. So you got unity at the top of the deck. You have acceptance. Because as you accept where you are on this journey, as you accept some things for what they are, that is the thing that's going to help you move further into unity. You're actively laying the foundation for this unity by way of the lessons that you're moving through now. You are ready to release control of situations or people and lovingly embrace the rhythm of life. Taurus, so many of you are being naturally, divinely led to just go with the flow and allow what is leaving to leave and allow what is coming in to naturally progress, and stop fighting it. Release control, because what you are coming to have to accept is that God is in control. The divine knows full well why you were created and placed on this earth at this appointed time in your life. And God knows full well the details of this next chapter in your life. And God knows full well that those people and those things, those situations that you are needing to part ways with, they can't go. They don't have a place in the next chapter. They can't sit at the table and enjoy the fruits of the labor that you're putting in both internally and externally in this next chapter. And you're needing to have acceptance about that. And I'm moving through that too, as a matter of fact. So this ain't necessarily just a Taurus thing, but I do have my Chiron is in Taurus. And so I'm having to understand from that perspective of being a wounded healer, tap more into my Taurian nature and understand how that applies to my life on my journey of knowing myself better and being true to myself. So acceptance. Accept where you are in life and where you're being led towards. Stop fighting it. Release that control. At the bottom of we've been talking about evolution a lot. You all are evolving. You're maturing. You're growing. And with growing come growing pains. With labor, giving birth to something new, comes labor pains. And if this is a masculine, you've possibly been sent a midwife to unite with, as you not only birth this new version of yourself, but new expressions of your creativity in some way. And possibly birthing a child. Because again, there's so many things that you can give birth to. Some of y'all got some dope ass books and albums and performances and scripts in you. And you're at the point of the journey where you're not meant to go it alone. But even if you weren't going it alone before, you were going it at the journey with people who they can't take you to the next level. Evolution. You're evolving to the next level. You realize that obstacles are merely lessons on your path to love. Looking at the bigger picture helps you to evolve more. Just saw 4111, which speaks to, when I see 411, that speaks to communication. That speaks to important information coming through. Back in the day, you used to call 411 and get an operator that gave you information. Those are angel numbers that mean receiving information or giving information. But you're evolving. And the obstacles that you are overcoming on your journey are just leading you to love, leading you higher, further, and helping you to expand, evolve on your path to love. Because again, that's what you're here for. That's all you're here for. To be loved, to express love, to share love, to learn about love. That's it. That's all. All this other shit that everybody focus on, pure distraction. I'm going to close us out, even though that was a handful right there, right? I done gave y'all, I done threw excuse me. Ooh. Release. That's symbolic of that release that's taking place. I done threw the book at this reading at this point. But I'm going to give y'all a little bit more before I get up out of here, because I'm actually running behind. But the way my sovereign mind works, honey, I get there when I get there. I like to be timely and organized, but this particular thing I need to do next, I already know it ain't going to be no big deal for me to get there a little bit late. So, Spirit, please clarify this message for the Taurus collective at this time. I heard break the deck. So it shall be. Believe, represented by the number 31, which breaks down to a 4. And this believe energy talks about having strange encounters. And there's a unicorn on this card. For many of you, you either have or you're going to have a series of or a particular strange encounter. And that strange encounter is gonna be like some trippy shit, you know what I'm saying? Like a miracle, like meeting a unicorn, somebody so aligned with you, or somebody so that fits your manifestation list for a partner, or whether it be romantic or professional or even like spiritual. It's gonna be something that's gonna blow your mind, you know what I'm saying? Like proof that God got your front and your back, because they're going to check off your boxes. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a strange encounter. You're going to see signs and synchronicities. And if you have not If this has not already happened for you, it's going to happen, and you're being advised to believe that it's not just happenstance, believe that it's not just a coincidence or a coinky dink, as we talked about in the beginning of the reading, and that it is God showing you that you are loved and you are on the path to love, and any obstacle that you encounter on the road to love is a bump on the road, and you have everything you need within you to overcome it. This is calling you to be a warrior of love. Damn, I wish I had that deck. I have a deck that speaks to being. It's a divine feminine deck, but I can't think of who the divine feminine archetype is that represents being a warrior of love. It's not Joan of Arc. Anyway, if I figure it out, I put it on the description board, on the community board. But yeah, believe. You see this unicorn here. I don't know what that is that she holding. Maybe that's part of her dress. But you know, they say unicorns don't exist. Some argue that they do. But whatever the case, it's a rare sighting. So also, we had a blue moon recently. So there may have been a very rare encounter. Think back to Google this blue moon we had. I don't know if it was last month or like 2 months ago that we had that blue moon. And the blue moon speaks to something rare happening, a miracle occurring, something very like spectacular, like seeing a unicorn, so to speak. So you have this energy of believing. At the bottom of the deck, you have the number 23. We are all mad here. Everyone is a little different. Don't allow whatever your differences are with another to keep you from co-creating with them, because your differences are what make you perfect for working together, bringing something together. They may have an ingredient that you don't have, but this not only speaks to coexisting and co-creating with those who are different from you, but also acknowledging that you yourself are a unicorn. You yourself are a different individual. You are not like those. You have been, for many of you, wolves in sheep's clothing. You've been different from the pack that you've been running with. And it's time to stand out and accept that about yourself, that you are different, that you're not like everybody else, and that you were created. Don't slap God in the face, resisting who you are, because who you are is different from those who you have been around. There are people out here who are going to love you for your different ass self. I don't like to use the word weird because it's an insult to a lot of us who are not, don't fit that cookie cutter mold. You know what I'm saying? But know that we all have our differences. Everybody's a little different. Let your freak flag fly. Be proud of who you are and all your intricate nuances, because that is what you're being called to do in this chapter of your life. That whole Piscean era had everybody feeling like they had to operate and fit into 2 or 3 modes. You know what I'm saying? But this Aquarian energy is innovative. It's very much a humanitarian energy, and does not mind standing apart from the crowd. So I'm going to read the message of belief to close us out. It says, do you know, I always thought unicorns were fabulous monsters too. I never saw one alive before. Well, now that we have seen each other, said the unicorn, if you'll believe in me, I'll believe in you. Is that a bargain? This is so beautiful. Especially with this unity card coming. I'm about to cry. Like, I literally am teary-eyed. Because this is you uniting with someone who sees your value and someone whose value you see. And you are helping to cultivate, which is that natural Taurian energy, to cultivate something of value, something of cultivating synergy, coming together to do something that neither of you could do on your own, but you have the power to bring something beautiful forth to the collective together. And that something beautiful may be your love for one another. It says, when Alice and the unicorn meet in through the looking glass, neither of them can quite believe what is taking place. For the unicorn, humans are legendary, particularly human children. He never quite believed they were real and thought them to be fabulous monsters. So the unicorn thought that humans were fabulous monsters and weird. And Alice thought the unicorn was a fabulous monster and weird. Alice, in her own way, says she never thought unicorns were real either. But there they are, two fabulous monsters, and they each must accept the reality of the other's existence. Acceptance. Accept that the divine loves you so much that he created a counterpart that fits you just right. This could be taking place in your life at present. You could be meeting people whose experiences are most unlike those you've had thus far. You may be encountering spirit beings or mystical events that make you wonder at the very nature of reality itself. Once you have experienced the strange reality of people unlike yourself, or of spiritual encounters with guides, visions, or prophetic dreams that leave you marveling at the universe, you can no longer deny the existence of such things. Then your existence will seem just as strange to others. This card asks you to accept that others unlike yourself exist. They will then accept your differences too. In this way, we can begin to believe in each other and live side by side, as different as we may be. Bottom of the deck. We're all mad here. We all got a little something going that the world would consider to be off. But to God, we are perfect. We are just right. And we are just right for one another. It says, meeting people who are very unlike people you have met before. Mystic events and peculiar experiences. Interacting with different cultures, customs, and belief systems. Mystical encounters with elemental beings who interact with you, finding that they are just as real as you. Discovering new places, environments, even climates that are different to any that you've experienced before. Something unusual that is most decidedly as real as you are. This is the evolution that you all are experiencing. And underneath evolution, elevation. You're rising up. And evolution and elevation is the message that came out in the Aries reading. So if this resonates with you, you may want to check out the Aries reading. Underneath elevation, individuality. Becoming more of yourself. No longer trying to be loyal to others and stifling your growth, but being loyal to yourself. Why? Because you have a divine purpose. And living out your divine purpose is requiring you to be more spontaneous. I can't make this shit up. I can't. And spontaneity came out in the Aries reading as well. So Taurus, I hope this message found you well. If it did not find you well, I hope something was said that leaves you well. Get down in them comments and let me know if the message resonated with you, what stood out to you. And yeah, if you're needing a personal reading, feel free to email me at turquoisemajesty@gmail.com. If you'd like to donate, that information is in the description box. And this was good. Until next time, y'all. Peace.